If you're in a place where you need fresh drinking water, you can cut off a banana stalk like this, dig it out, and it'll keep filling up with water. You can actually take it out of there. You can also, now this is the Kino Lau. There's certain protocols for certain plants. This is Kino Lau of the god of freshwater Kane. So this is considered sacred to Kane. So if I'm doing a protocol, I'll often do an invocation to Kane. You can, what my Hawaiian teachers would do is they would do their protocol. They would cut upward like this. And I don't know if you can see it, but see the sap dripping out of there?
Yeah.
They'll take a, this will stain anything it touches, okay? They'll take a spoon, a big serving spoon, and they'll stick it up there like that, in that slice I just made, and then the liquid will come out and drip it, and they can catch it in a cup. Sometimes you have to get 3 or 4 of them going. It's kind of a pain in the butt, and they stop, and you have to wiggle the spoon and stuff. You can also go downward like this. You can try this on your own later. I'm not going to wait for everybody to taste this, but if you cut the leaf off, the tip of the leaf, cut this part off like that, this will, there'll be a little sap there, and it tastes really awful, and it's super astringent, but you can use it topically, and it'll drip out. You can stick a soda can on this to catch it with, or you can duct tape a Dixie cup or whatever, and it'll gather the sap in there. And then if you cut yourself, you can put that sap in there and it'll help it heal. It'll also disinfect it. If you have a sore throat, it's really good when you if you start to get sick, to drink that. It'll stop sore throats really quickly. If you start to get that tickling in your throat, like you're getting a cold or something. You can also take it. What?
Not diluted, just strong, straight.
Yeah, you do. I do it straight. Wow. You can also take it, like if you're swollen tonsils or whatever, put it right on the tonsils. And you can take it internally, like about a 1/4 inch in a cup, in a small cup. I didn't say a 1/4 cup, I said a 1/4 inch. Okay, in a small cup, and you drink that for like lung infections, bronchitis, bladder infections. You could even take it internally for a staph infection on your foot, like a chronic infection. You wouldn't want to put it on top, but you could drink it internally. You can refrigerate it, and it'll last 3 or 4 days.
It's good for fever blisters and cold sores, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, and yes, it's good for fever blisters and cold sores. You know what I find better for that though is the ulu sap.
Oh, really?
The sap from the ulu seems to work much
From the
better.
fruit or the leaf?
Well, anywhere. If there's any of that white stuff.
Yeah.
Hawaii. And it was also used to make cordage. Like when Matt Kirk, he teaches our earth medicine nature skills. He teaches, you know, shelter building and fire starting and all that stuff. Animal tracking.
So how?
When Matt starts fires from scratch, this is the only plant he uses. He makes the cordage from it, the bow drill, the whole thing, just from this house.
Oh. What's the name?
It's hibiscus.
Oh.
It's a hibiscus?
It's a hibiscus. It's hibiscus tiliaceus. Tiliaceus.
There's some yellow flowers above your head, slightly to the right. With the darker stem.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how you can tell those are the hot flowers.
Yeah, the question is, how do you use it during childbirth? What the Hawaiians will do is they'll take the bark,
Do they make rope with that plant? I guess.
Yeah, they make rope. Yeah, you can make rope, and it's not very strong, but it's strong enough to use a bow drill to start a fire. They used to use it for canoes and stuff. They used to use the these bent things for the booms.
We had a big one, like it was a tree, became a tree, and then We had to cut it down, and they took the wood to sculpt it. It's just,
Really?
Yeah, trunk this big.
Wow.
And so it's really good for sculpting.
Oh, I didn't know that. You can pass this around. You can feel it. It's really slippery. And that's the Hawaiians would take the inner bark of that and soak it in water, and then drink the liquid from that when women were going to give birth. And they said it was like a lubricant to lubricate the birth canal. They do it topically on the vagina, but also internally. They would drink it, but I think it's an oxytocin synergist. I'm guessing, but I think it causes uterine contractions. Like, you know, when a woman's giving birth and they want to bring on labor sooner, they give her what's called Pitocin, which is synthetic oxytocin. The flowers, you can use the same as the regular hibiscus flowers. You can use them for sticky phlegm in the lungs, coughs, a poultice for a boil or a cut. And as those flowers get, you can see they're yellow with a black center. Once they fall off, they turn deep red.
Right here.
The rusty red. Oh yeah, exactly. They turn this color here. And these are thought to be the symbol of the Hawaiian kupuna, the elders. Because once they get close to death, their wisdom gets really rich.
Is a native one?
This is a native, yeah. This is indigenous.
They're little seedlings still.
Can you pick a couple and pass them around?
Yeah, why don't you come here and pick these and try them.
Yeah,
They taste like bitter carrots.
this is it. Yes, exactly. Kind of like looks like a little lily pad a bit. Like the Coca-Cola.
Yeah. So, myself, I'll eat 20 leaves a
We
day.
actually have stuff growing in there.
What?
No, don't come in.
We've seeded. There's a bunch of this whole area.
Sorry, never mind.
Sorry.
No, it's good to know.
Yeah, you don't want people walking on your seedlings.
This is the comfrey, and you guys use this for pest control?
Yeah.
And like ground cover.
Nice. So, those alkaloids are called pyrrolizidine alkaloids, and they're different, they call them PAs. Different PAs have different levels of toxicity. There was a young hippie that died about 15 years ago from eating comfrey leaves for a month or two or something. Right?
Why did you do that?
He was a young hippie. The Darwin Award. So, yeah. But it's a really great herb. You can take it as a tea internally. But if you're liver impaired or you're pregnant, I wouldn't take it internally at all. This is called Desmodium. The Hawaiians call it Puapi. Oh, Desmodium is Desmodium.
Oh, hitchhikers look famous.
Yeah, the Hawaiians call this Pua Pili Pili, means flower that sticks to you. Pua Pili Pili. And yeah, these stick to clothing. So this is used as a, this is actually called strong back in Australia. And it's used for back pain internally as a tea.
What part of it?
The whole, everything, the whole aerial parts, yeah. Anything above the ground. Back pain, it's an anti-inflammatory, joint pain. You could use it for chronic pain. The Hawaiians would smoke this for asthma. I don't know why, but...
My dog loves to eat them.
yeah.
He does eat them.
Really?
All the time.
Used for bladder infections, any bacterial infection actually you can use this for. So if you have a staph infection, this is something this and banana sap and a couple of other things are what you're going to want to think about.
For internal or?
Internal, yeah.
So would that be good for the kidneys as well?
If you had a bladder infection, if you was going up into your kidneys? Oh, I think it's more musculoskeletal, but I'm not sure.
Hold it for
Yeah, I think it's more inflammation. Flower.
I know, I picked all the ones that were reachable, sorry.
So, this is a little small, but we'll go with this one. Yeah, that's a little bigger. So you take it off the calyx, that's called the calyx. And if you if you crush that, you'll feel how slippery that is. Pass that around.
And we'll have one in class too.
And so you can take that and either chew it up or mash it up and put it under a Band-Aid for a boil or for a cut, or it's very healing and soothing. This is also, this plant is used for birth control all over the world. The flowers. But it's obviously not reliable. Don't use herbal birth control.
They're edible too.
I don't know. Well, there's different countries use it in different ways, but I think it has. Yeah, and they're edible. You can eat them.
Well, I know there is another one they call edible.
That's the leaves you eat.
Oh yeah. No, you don't eat these leaves.
Yeah.
The flowers are edible. But you can take any part of the flower, and if you, it's very slippery.
Yeah.
And then you can put that as a poultice on almost anything. You can use it to moisten other things. It disinfects things. It's really just quite useful. You can also take it internally as a tea. If you have sticky phlegm in the lungs, like where the Hawaiians call it pa'a, where it doesn't come up, or a bladder infection where you have the really irritated urethra. This will help cool the tissue and soothe it.
In a tea?
In a tea.
But you could apply it topically as well.
The bug.
For a bladder infection?
I mean, like internal, external-ish.
Oh, I guess you could. Yeah, I never heard of that, but yeah. Kupu means to sprout. So these are the swords you'll see. The tips are edible. That's all I know about them. I don't use them medicinally. We went over that: lung infections, bladder infections, poulticing.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Get some bile flowing in the liver. It's used for infantile jaundice too. In South America, when some of these babies are born jaundiced and they're bright yellow, they'll take the plantain, they'll grind it up and strain, get the juice out of it, and then mix it with mother's milk when babies are jaundiced.
Oh.
So that one right there is that.
Yeah.
And this one too. Okay. Right there. How do you spell that?
Youngia, Y-O-U-N-G-I-A. And this is used for bacterial infections. Youngia, Y-O-U-N-G-I-A. It's also called hawk's beard, H-A-W-K-S-B-E-A-R-D.
And how do you use it?
As a tea.
The whole plant?
Whole plant, yeah. For bacterial infections, colds and flus. Make a tea out of the plant, yeah.
Oh, yes.
The Hawaiians call it hila hila, which means shy or bashful.
Yep. Sleeping grass.
Sleeping grass. It's used as a tea. What I'll do is take leather gloves and gather a big bundle of it and then boil it up, and it makes a really nice tea at the end of the day. You want to make sure you boil this though. You don't want to tincture it because there's chemicals in it that cause hair loss. See? Just kidding. But yeah, it causes hair loss in farm animals, so you want to make sure you boil it. But it tastes good.
What was it called again?
I'm sorry, the genus is Mimosa, M-I-M-O-S-A. And the Hawaiian name is hila hila, which means shy or bashful. Did you see the sword ferns? You saw the ferns? The kupu kupu? Okay, great. Yeah, wear gloves and beware of thorns.
And you boil it, make a tea?
Boil it for about half an hour, 45 minutes.
What's for?
Oh, it's a sedative. It's also good for menstrual cramps, PMS, and joint pain. And the Hawaiians use it for kidney and bladder. I mean, the Chinese use it for kidney and bladder stones, but I don't think I ever used it for that. I may have. It's Gossypium tomentosum, I think. Yeah, you know, the cotton is the same family as the hibiscus. So you can, and the roots of the cotton are used. Remember I said that the hibiscus is used for birth control, and then I talked about the hau plant also being used for birth. The cotton root bark of the one on the mainland is used to cause miscarriages. And the whole family is very safe, but it's also kind of tweaks around reproduction. I've never tried it. I wouldn't recommend it because you can cause bleeding and stuff. But I don't know of any Hawaiian uses for this though. As far as I know, they didn't weave with it or anything.